Why, thank you, Kate, from last week. Yes, we are going to be doing a bookshelf tour today. I am going to warn you right now, probably should have already figured out from whatever I've made the thumbnail and whatever I've made the title of this video, but this is not going to be a nice, lovely, aesthetic bookshelf tour. This is a chaotic bookshelf tour. So, if you're looking for something pretty and nice, this is not going to be the video for you. If that's going to upset you, I'm sorry. If this upsets anyone, I'm sorry, but also I'm not sorry, because this is my life and my house, and this is how it is right now. Because we don't all have money and space to be buying bookshelves all the time and have a dedicated library room and have enough space to fit all of our books that we inevitably buy because we watch influencers who have beautiful bookshelves and we want to be like them, but then we don't have the bookshelves and we just end up with the books. But I don't know where that one came from. I hadn't planned on saying all of that. That just kind of came out. I am planning on upgrading my bookshelves in the next couple of months because I've been saving up to buy a bookshelf, planned all of this out to be able to have a slightly better space for my books. But I just wanted to show, before I do that, that I do actually have a currently quite possibly realistic, I don't know if it's actually realistic, but a normal book setup currently. Not everyone's perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I am a real person. I don't have ridiculous library situations going on. I just got a lot of books that I need to fit wherever I can fit them. And that's what we've got. So, the mic does not sit great anywhere, so hopefully this does not sound absolutely terrible. Fingers crossed. Alright, now, anyway, let's get into this. I don't actually know how I'm going to show this first bit, because the first bit of my library is actually right here in this room. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this nicely. It's behind here. Let me try to get a better angle of this. Alright, you can kind of see it here. This is my priority TBR plus some things that I've already read this month or what I'm specifically reading this month. This is where I will grab my books from first during my TBR prompt videos. This has all books that I have purchased recently, usually within the last few months, that I haven't read yet, that I really want to get to reading. And I've said before in my TBR videos, I don't have much of a physical TBR. This is my main physical TBR. I will show you some more when I get to them. I don't want to spoil it going ahead, but there are some more books on my TBR. We'll get to those. This is my main TBR. I don't know if you want me to go through all of the books we have here, but so this is my current book. I'm currently reading Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I, earlier this month, have already finished The Secret Runners of New York by Matthew Riley and A Court of Wings and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. We also have Jade City by Fonda Lee, which is part of my March TBR. We're going to see if we get to it. It's not looking great, but we're going to try to get to that. And I also have High Fire by Owen Colfer is also on my March TBR list. I then have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake, which I recently soft DNF'd in my February TBR. We'll see if we come back to that one. I have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I'm really looking forward to reading this book when I eventually get around to it. I have Tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I have The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arakawa. And then finally, down the bottom, which I don't think you guys can even properly see, I have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and that is a special edition. You can actually go and see me unboxing my special edition over on TikTok, one of the very few TikToks that I have. So that is my main TBR stack. Moving on. I don't think I actually mentioned, but that seat that I was just in, this is the bedroom. We've started in the bedroom. We also have in the bedroom these bookshelves right here, which is Simon's, so I'm not going to really show them to you, but just so you know, there are some bookshelves here. This holds all of Simon's books, so he has our entire Brandon Sanderson collection, all his. I think he also has like Twilight Saga in here. These are the Scott Pilgrim graphic novels, comics, whatever you want to call these. Oh, he has a bunch of George R. R. Martin as well. He has a bunch of the Game of Thrones series in here. So yeah, a bunch of the like really popular from 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago sort of series. Right, we're going to move on to the hallway bookshelf, which is the main bookshelf. Okay, so this is sort of our hallway. We don't have a proper hallway, but this is the transition from our main living space into our bedrooms. And this is what is our main absolutely chaotic bookshelf. This is why I don't like the square bookshelf spaces. They just don't work as bookshelves. But anyway, we're going to start top left because that seems the most reasonable. Also, ignore all this extra mess. I am sitting on the floor. This is a short bookshelf. This is not a tall bookshelf. We've only got a 3x2 cube situation going on here. And that is the bin for our kitchen. So, you know, that's just... I told you this is going to be a real chaotic view. So yeah, let's take a look at this. So this stack right here involves a lot of books that I have read or reread recently. The Housemaid, we've got the Lumatere Chronicles, which I absolutely love, Melina Marchetta. Please watch. They had to print these books for me. The second and third books had to be printed when I ordered them because they're not in print anymore. But if you can get your hands on them, highly recommend. I think you can get like the ebooks and the audiobooks pretty easily, but I wanted the physical books. Highly recommend those. Then we have the Shadow and Bone series. I also have Saving Francesca by Melina Marchetta, which is a very good book, but not fantasy, so less my standard, but still one of my all-time favorite books. And then we have the absolute crime that is a double-stacked bookshelf. I hate that we have this, but we do not have space otherwise. So in the back here, we've got some Del Toro quests, some David Eddings, Lee Child, also the Serenity comic book. I forgot that I had that. We've got a Firefly Serenity comic in here. And then there's a couple of non-fictions in there. So I've got How to Be a Productivity Ninja and also a book that I got for free when I won some like trivia thing at uni one time. I don't even remember what it was, but I did something and they gave me a prize, which was Bridging Tourism Theory and Practice, and I don't think I ever read it. But that's what we've got in here, and plus also a really old phone book. Oh, okay. Next up, we'll come over to this side. So this is my like secondary TBR cubby. So this includes all of the books that I want to either do a reread of, or books that I've owned for a while, / Simon has owned that I want to read, but I'm not like super excited to be reading. Obviously, I really want to read them, but they're not in the online social media space, so I'm not being reminded of them constantly that I do want to read them. We've got quite a few things in here. We got Dune. We just saw Dune Part 2 movie at the cinemas recently. And I've never read the book, so that one's on here. That's one of Simon's. I also have Mistborn Book 1. If you guys missed it, I read my first Brandon Sanderson book last month, which was Elantris. And so I am wanting to continue my Brando Sando journey, and Simon suggested that Mistborn would be a good one to go to next. So I'm just going with that. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. Don't listen to me. But that's what I'm going with. I have Artemis Fowl in here. I want to do a reread. We just purchased the entire box set of Artemis Fowl. I haven't read this one since I was at least in high school, possibly primary school, so I'm looking forward to rereading those. I put Patrick Rothfuss on here. I would like to not reread it until the third book is coming. I am also keen for a reread, so they're on the stack. Whether or not we wait, I don't know. We'll see. Depends what the TBR jar says. I also put David Eddings' series on here. I don't think we have the entire book, the entire series. I think it's a 5-book series and we've got 3 of them, but I'll read them at some point. I chucked a couple of Matthew Riley's in here. I never actually finished the tournament. It's his weird chess one, and I never finished it. And then I put Hovercar Racer in because I love Hovercar Racer and I am keen to reread that one. I also put the entire Inkheart series in. Again, that's a reread for me, but I am looking forward to rereading that one. couple of extra ones that I've had given to me by people / picked up in really cheap sales and just have never read. And then I have George Orwell's 1984, which I'd like to read at some point. I've never read it before. I didn't like Animal Farm very much, so I don't know. We'll see how we go, but it is one of those books that, you know, everyone's always talking about, so I want to read it. Let's head on down here. So we have my so far 2 completed Sarah J. Maas ACOTAR books. Obviously, I have also now finished the 3rd, but it is still on my stack in the bedroom, waiting for its March wrap-up video. No point putting it in the bookshelf. I'm just going to have to take it out again. I also have another Patrick Rothfuss here. There's a wild variety of stuff going on here. David Eddings, Matthew Riley. You guys can't see. I'm going to have to angle this camera. Hold on. Okay, we've angled the camera downwards, so now I'm sitting at a very terrible for my back angle, but what's new? I have The Empress of Ice Cream is one that I picked up in a secondhand book sale where you could get like however many books could fit in a bag for $5 or something, and so I was just chucking things in a bag. Got that one. Don't think I've ever read it. I might have started it and not finished it. Can't remember. Maybe I'll read it one day. And then we also have Ken Follett, The Pillars of the Earth. And then in the back here, we've got some Robert Jordan, The Eye of the World. I don't even know what that is, I'll be honest. This is one of Simon's books. Oh, it's The Wheel of Time. Okay. That's book 1 of The Wheel of Time, apparently. God, that's a thick book. Anyway, Wheel of Time. Apparently we have at least some of in here. Got Rowan of Rin in here. I don't actually think that's mine. I think I might have stolen that from one of my family members, so don't tell them, please. There's a Halo book in here. That's definitely one of Simon's. Maybe I'll read it one day. Then I have a couple of Harry Potters. We've got Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. And then I have the original, well, not the original, but I have 3 of the separated out Del Toro quests. I don't think I've gotten to it yet, but we have the Del Toro quest omnibus, which I have shown on the channel before, but before we had the omnibus, I was starting to collect them in this cool black edition. Let me grab it out. So yeah, they had this really cool, like, special edition, collector's edition, apparently. They had them out for a while, so I was starting to slowly collect them. But this one is pretty cool because it is signed. I have a signed special edition copy of Del Toro Quest, The Forest of Silence. So I got that one. My family actually got that one for me. I did not personally meet Emily Rodda, but my family did, and they gave me a signed copy of this book, which was when I started collecting the special editions. So I got book 2 and 3 the next time I saw them. But this was when I was much younger and didn't have money to spend on things. Not that I have it now, but I just spend it anyway. So those are my very cool little Emily Rodda collection. I wish that I'd gotten all, I think it's 8 books in that style, but that's okay. We have the omnibus now, so we have all the books, and that's the main thing. This is our Matthew Riley shelf, so there's a lot of Matthew Riley in here. We've got Area 7, Temple, Contest, 6 Sacred Stones, Ice Station, Scarecrow, 7 Ancient Wonders, Cobalt Blue, The 2 Lost Mountains. I did that in the weirdest order possible. And in the back, I think we just have more Matthew Riley. Oh, there's nothing in the back of this one. These books must be too thick to fit a second shelf. Or we just never put a second stack in here. I don't know, but this one's only 1 stack deep. There are some more Matthew Riley books in the house, and I will bring you to those shortly. And then down here on the bottom left, we have all the books that I have recently been reading. So we've got Yellowface, Divine Rivals, we have the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and we have the 2 current Empyrean books, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, which I read earlier in the year. Loved Fourth Wing, mostly love Iron Flame. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else seems to, but it wasn't as good. And then again, more of my more recent reads in the back here. So we have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone and Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. Not together, of course. God forbid I actually put series together. We have Bringing Down the Duke, Happy Place, Magnolia Parks, Atomic Habits, Being Henry, The Fonz and Beyond. We have, what's it called? The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic, and then we have the Atlas 6 down on the bottom there. And then our final cube in this section, I have some very cool, very old editions. I don't even know if they're all this. No, I've got a bunch of different ones. So this is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I should say, who is the author of Sherlock Holmes. So it's got a collection of various Sherlock Holmes books. I've never actually fully read this. I started reading it and it was just, I didn't start with the right book. I started with one that was like a collection of little short stories, like every chapter was a new crime. And I don't know, just wasn't loving that structure. But the books are just so pretty that I keep them regardless. And I don't even really know what the other ones I have are. We have Joseph Conrad, who is, oh no, I don't think I can read at least the second one of this. So we have Lord Jim, Typhoon, and Nostromo. I'm just covering up the second one because it has a very bad word on it, and I don't want to get in trouble for that. And then we have Thomas Hardy. It's real dusty down here, but we have Thomas Hardy, who is Tess of the D'Urbervilles, the Mayor of Casterbridge, and Far from the Madding Crowd. I have heard of a couple of those books. And apparently hiding up the back here, we have Hell Island by Matthew Riley. You can put on our Matthew Riley shelf. So that is our main bookshelf. We also, to the side here, have all of our cookbooks. So if you have any interest in any of those, we've got some cool ones. This Women's Weekly How to Cook was actually a really good cookbook. And then my other favorite is The Artisan's Kitchen, which is a very cool one that shows a lot of like homemade things. So how to make sourdough, how to make your own like apple cider vinegar and other vinegars. I should just move the camera. I have a cool chocolates and confections book, which is like actual chocolates, how to make bars of chocolates and individual chocolates, things like that. And then the newest cool one is, of course, The Hero's Feast, which is the Dungeons and Dragons cookbook. It's a real good book. It's great. I barely made anything out of it, but it's great. Alright, and that is it for my hallway books. Now let's go and check out our, what are we up to, fourth location? Let's go. Okay, our final book location is the office. This is not the most exciting of book locations, but it is a pretty cool bookshelf. I've got my Mandalorian ship Lego here. We've got a couple of Assassin's Creed statues here. Love it. This is the nerd bookshelf. And then it mostly has my study books. So these are all my textbooks for my set for in bookkeeping and accounting that I'm doing at the moment. So very uninteresting. And then we have the remainder of our Matthew Riley books. This is the majority of the Seven Ancient Wonder series in here. We saw the rest of them back out on the shelf. And then we also have the full Artemis Fowl box set down here. This is our lovely Artemis Fowl box set. It was only like $40 on Amazon. It is, of course, currently missing a couple of books because one of them is on my TBR shelf and the other one is in Simon's backpack, I assume, where he is currently reading it. There's also some puzzles. There's my laptops on here. It's a bit of a mess, as is everything. And we still have a Christmas tree here, so I think that one's been there for 2 years now. And that is the entirety of our book collection and our bookshelves at my house. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my chaotic bookshelf tour. And we have now answered question 11 of the booktube newbie challenge, hashtag, whatever it is referred to as. I will hopefully be showing a bunch of the process of us putting together the new bookshelves, buying the new bookshelves, bringing them home, putting them together, putting the books onto the bookshelves, maybe having some sort of organization to our bookshelves. But I'm really looking forward to that, hopefully within the next month or two. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially if you've made it all the way to the end here. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We will be doing, I think next week at this point, will be my next TBR video. We'll be up to our April TBR, pulling some prompts out of my little prompt bucket. That's it from me today, and I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.